Hello, friend.
I am tired. After that concert I went to last night, I think I'm gonna need like 3 more of these. But I'm here, so let's get it done. From the Vault 319 recording room, this is the Tweakable Podcast. What's up, everybody? I'm Jake Alexander, the voice in the void, the lone wolf, your favorite host with a lisp. Happy Saturday to you, and welcome to another episode of the Tweakable Podcast. If this is your first episode, don't hesitate. Go back and check out any of the older episodes. I'm pretty sure you'll find a ton of information and reviews that you'll love. And if you've been rocking with us for a while, thank you very much. I appreciate every single person that decides to tune in to this pokey little podcast. You don't have to, but I truly appreciate it, and thank you very much for coming back. Today we have a pretty quick show. Like I said, I'm tired. I went to a really good concert last night. I was up super late, and so I'm putting this podcast together. I should have done it a day or two ago, but I had a lot of stuff to do. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. It's getting to be fall, so I had a whole lot of things on my mind, a whole lot of things to do. Plus, it was my anniversary, so and hanging out with my wife is a little bit more important than doing this. But I am still happy to be here. We're going to get through a little bit of news. We're going to talk about Alien Romulus. Fantastic film, but how good was it? And I'm actually going to talk about what's been going on with Beau DeMayo and Disney, because it's getting weird. It's getting very weird, believe me. But I'll tell you all about that when we get to it. But right up now, let's talk about the news. So first up in the news, we say rest in peace to Atsuko Tanaka and Afa Anoa'i. So if you don't know those names, you will in a moment, because I guarantee you've seen or even heard the voices of both of these people. Now, Atsuko Tanaka is the original voice actress for Makoto Kusanagi. She's the original Japanese voice actress, I should say, for Makoto Kusanagi in Standalone Complex, for Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. She's done a ton of other voices, but doing Major Kusanagi was the one that she is very well known for. And Afa Anoa'i, I'm pretty sure you've heard that name. He is the uncle of WWE superstar Roman Reigns, and family members to so many other WWE superstars that come from that family tree that have been going for many of years, all the way back to Yokozuna, who is actually not Japanese, he's Samoan. Is part of their family tree. Just a few months ago, his brother Sika had also passed away. Sika was the father of WWE superstar Roman Reigns. Together they were the Wild Samoans tag team, a fierce tag team from back in the day. One of the best ever, actually. And if you're a wrestling fan, you absolutely know that. Both of them are gone. They are just further reminders that millennials and zennials and even Gen X, we are left and right losing people that we grew up watching. So give these people their flowers while they're still here. Atsuko Tanaka was 61 and Afa Anoa'i was 81 years old. At the box office, it's really no surprise to me, but it probably is for a handful of people. But Alien Romulus took the #1 spot away from Deadpool and Wolverine with $124 million on its opening weekend. That's worldwide so far. Deadpool and Wolverine stays at #2 now at $1.15 billion. I don't know if before they pull it out of theaters, if it's going to catch Inside Out 2 for #1 movie of the year, but I got a feeling they're going to stall it and keep it in theaters until it goes over that. Coming in at #3, It Ends With Us. Now, I'm not going to review It Ends With Us, but I am going to say this. If you don't mind watching the chick flick, you can go watch this, because it's not the chick flick like you expect to see. It is actually a really good movie about domestic violence, among other things. If you really want to get into it, watch the film. It's a very good film to me. If you don't want to see anything like that, obviously don't go see it. But for me, it was a really good film. You can go see it. New this week, The Crow, starring Bill Skarsgård. Now, I have been debating whether I wanted to see this or not. I go back to not the original film, but I go back to the graphic novel that it comes from. The original film was to me pretty good. It was followed by a couple of really bad sequels, especially after Brandon Lee was tragically killed on set, so he wasn't in the follow-ups. So I do have high hopes for it. I'm expecting this movie to be pretty good. Bill Skarsgård, it is a very good actor. It is rated R. I expect this movie to be good, so I cross my fingers. I am going to go see it, and as soon as I see it, we will review it. If you remember a movie called The Blues Brothers, then you're going to remember this line. We're getting the band back together. At least that's what Kevin Feige is saying when it comes to Marvel and everything going on. Now, we know at San Diego Comic-Con it was revealed that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU, but this time as Doom, not as Iron Man. And we just got to see the return of Chris Evans return to the MCU, although as Johnny Storm from his early days doing Marvel movies when he was in Fantastic Four. But this time we're actually getting a couple of more people, or at least we're a rumor of one other person coming back to Marvel. Now, we know for sure from this new news story that James Spader will return as the voice of Ultron, but this time he's going to be in Vision Quest. It won't be in a film. So Vision Quest is going to be the spin-off of WandaVision, in which they follow around, remember, a new version of Vision, the all-white one, came out of WandaVision. So Ultron will return at some time in that series, and James Spader will be doing the voice, which I have said for years, and I've told everybody, Ultron is not gone. You cannot purge anything from the internet. We've talked about this before. The internet is forever, and obviously if Ultron's program is floating around the internet, there is no way he could have been gone. So the fact that Vision is coming back, that means Ultron is coming back, and it is good to know that James Spader will return as the voice of Ultron. That's great continuity. Now, one of the other things is a report that perhaps Elizabeth Olsen will also return as Scarlet Witch in this series and for other Marvel projects going forward, which is also good, because this idea that she was dead, like I said when we reviewed Multiverse of Madness, there's no way she can be dead. You can't kill the Scarlet Witch. She's a Nexus being. She's basically permanent throughout the entire multiverse. So even if she's a different version of it, it's still Elizabeth Olsen. It's still Scarlet Witch. So when she shows up, I can't wait for that. So yeah, we're getting the band back together. All those old people are now coming back to their old roles, which means that Marvel has a good chance of getting back to those old ways of those great films that we miss. Now, I'm one of those people that don't like Rotten Tomatoes. I never really pay attention to any of their ratings about what film I will or won't go see. But it looks like they're getting ready to change their rating system. Now, they're going to add something called verified hot to rating films that cross their 90% threshold. And they're doing this because they've come to find out that people who are reviewing their films, a lot of them actually haven't even seen the films. So this is something that I've said for a long time. Don't trust any of the rating systems for anything like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic or anything like that. If you want to see if a film is good or not, go see it. Judge it for yourself, which is exactly what I've always said. I've never trusted Rotten Tomatoes for the simple fact that it's owned by Fandango. Fandango is a movie ticket company. They help sell movie tickets on the internet. So why would I trust a critic film, a film critic system for somebody who's just wanting you to go to the movie so you can buy movie tickets? Doesn't that make any sense? Does that make any sense to anybody to trust that? So that I've never trusted Rotten Tomatoes. That's why I said just ignore it. If you want to see if a film is good or not, go see it, judge it for yourself. Just do like I do. I don't pay full price for films. I always go when the tickets are cheaper. Like catch a matinee. Do it like that. But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes adding a new level to their rating system means absolutely nothing. It was bad from the beginning. It's still going to be bad even with this addition. If you're a fan of Disney Plus's The Acolyte, well, you're going to be sad from this news, but it's getting canceled after one season. I personally am not surprised. I said it after the first season was over, and I reviewed it. I say it started with so much promise. It had really good meat where they could tell a great story, and it just went downhill after that. Using Carrie Ann Moss for all of 3 or 4 minutes in the first episode and then killing her character off made no sense. A person of her caliber, acting status, and name wise should have carried throughout the entire series. But that is just my opinion. Most people didn't like the series for other reasons, and all those other reasons I'm not even going to go into. But hey, if it's gone after one season, it's just gone after one season. There's a petition floating around online to have them reinstated, but that petition means absolutely nothing. If Disney wants to get rid of it, they're going to get rid of it, and it is now gone. It's kind of sad. Like I said, I actually enjoyed those very first 2 episodes. I thought it was going to go in a completely different direction, and it went south real fast. But hey, it's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. On to the next. Lord of the Rings fans, I told you that there was an anime coming, and now we have a teaser trailer for it. It is called Lord of the Rings, The War for Rohirrim. They finally gave us a teaser trailer for the anime, and it looks fantastic as a fan of anime, number one in general, but definitely as a fan of the Lord of the Rings story from the books all the way up to the films and all the way up to now, even with the series on Amazon Prime. I am a huge fan of everything Lord of the Rings. Believe me, this, if you have not seen the trailer, you need to see it. It is on the Instagram page. Go over there, watch the teaser trailer. This is set. This is a prequel to what happened in the Peter Jackson films, and in fact, they bring Peter Jackson in to help direct this anime, so it fits his universe of films. It is going to be fantastic. I know it is. Regardless of what you think of the Amazon Prime series, which I actually like, but it's kind of 50-50 with the audience right now. But believe me, this series, this animated film, or is it an animated series? I don't know yet. I got to double check on that for you. But this is going to be really, really good. So if you want to see the teaser trailer for it, it is in fact over on our Instagram page. And speaking of our Instagram page, that's all of our news. And don't forget to subscribe to our Instagram page as well as here on our YouTube channel, so you can see all of the stories and trailers whenever they come out. And I'll get them to you as fast as I possibly can. That's all the news for the day. Give me a moment, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about everything going on with Beau DeMayo and Disney. As something of a burgeoning writer myself, I know for a fact that there's a weird dynamic between the writer's brain, what hits the page, and how we interact with our audience and how we interact with people who are helping us along in the writing process. But I know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is always a line that you don't cross. You don't sexualize yourself. You don't make passes at the people you're working with. You don't dumb down what you're doing either for your audience, because your audience is never really as dumb as you possibly imagine. It seems to me that Beau DeMayo may have crossed the line, which is what led to his firing earlier this year, right before the debut of X-Men 97, which he wrote the first two seasons for and directed the first two. Now, I said it when he got fired. It's going to be really weird if they don't tell us what happened. And sure enough, throughout the first season of X-Men 97, we got no word about what actually happened that led up to his firing. But after that first season was over, a couple of things started happening. Now, during the first season, Beau DeMayo was tweeting left and right about every episode about what went into his writing process, and hey, if you're going to watch the next episode, go read this first, go read this comic first. Or, he was always directing people toward Marvel to watch the show, to like the show. And it was always positive feedback. Even though the man had been fired, it was always positive feedback to what had happened. Until a couple of weeks ago, Beau DeMayo actually put out a tweet about something for Happy Pride Month. And somehow or another, that may have triggered Disney into taking his name off of everything that he had put into season 2. Even after they had hired a new writer and a new director for season 2, they had still had his name as the creator and director and lead writer for the second season of X-Men 97. But that post, perhaps, as he has said it, is what triggered them to say, no, we're just taking all your name and all your credits off of the season. Then he fired back with a flurry of tweets saying, yeah, they are angry because I have OnlyFans, or they're angry because I'm gay and I'm proudly gay, or they're just basically taking my name and my credit away to besmirch my name. Disney fired back after that, saying that's not why we did it. And in fact, we'll tell you why we fired him. Disney actually put out a tweet saying we fired him because of egregious behavior on his part with the staff that worked under him. One of the allegations is the fact that he sent an explicit nude pic to people who were working for him. Now, Beau DeMayo fired back through his lawyer, saying that it was a bald-faced lie. Weird words for a lawyer to put out in the tweet, but that nobody who reported Beau DeMayo was the actual people who actually got the picture that he sent out. Not that he never sent out a picture, but the fact that the people who reported him are not the people he sent the picture to. I don't know what's going on here. It's weird. My original comments after he got fired was, okay, you fired him, but you're not telling us why. So the only thing I can say to those allegations early on, before any of this came out, was if it's not illegal, whatever you fired him for, if it wasn't illegal, or if it wasn't highly immoral, go back and look at those videos when I talked about them. I said if it wasn't illegal or highly immoral, or maybe a combination of both, that man should get his job back. But it looks like it fell into that latter allegation, that it was highly immoral, and that actually leads to it being highly illegal. But we don't know. Now, I'm kind of leaning toward wondering what happened with the picture that he did send out. As his lawyer has said, the picture went out, a picture went out to people, but the people who reported him are not the ones that the picture was sent to. And I can already see the defense coming through. So if the picture that Beau DeMayo is saying that got him fired, the one of him dressed up as Cyclops with nothing but a pair of boy short Speedos and, Cyclops iconic cross brace to his uniform. If that's the picture that got him fired, or if it was some other picture and he sent it to some other people, but those are not the people who reported him, I could see Beau DeMayo winning the case, whether we like it or not. Why? For the same reason that if I sent you an email and you thought it was funny or you thought it was cool, but somebody, not you, happened to read your email but get offended, they can't bring charges against me or say anything to me. I didn't send it to them. It was none of their business. So if the picture truly indeed went out, whatever's in the picture, but the people who got it thought it was cool, but the people who reported him didn't get it at all, they just happened to see it on somebody else's computer or in somebody else's email, then Disney can't actually fire him. Or maybe Disney can. I don't know. But whatever goes on with this, it is going to be a shitstorm of a show. And honestly, I don't know if I want to watch it, whether up close or even from afar, and getting notes online every day through Twitter and through other news sources. So whatever happens, how about we just stay out of it and let it all play out with them? We ain't got nothing to do with it. I guess we can't do anything but just sit back and watch. We'll be right back. So if you can see over my shoulder right here, you can see one of my pull boxes for my comics that I go to pick up. I'll drop the box off. He'll fill it up. He'll let me know when it's full and I go back and get it. If you can see what's on it, that's a Xenomorph from Alien franchise. Aliens is by far my absolute favorite film franchise. I know so many people who don't really care for the last two of the series. The last one where they resurrected Ripley through xenomorph genetic manipulation, and the one right before it with Charles S. Dutton, where they're trapped on the penal colony inside of the melting plant, and they have to do battle with the xenomorphs. Those two films don't really get as much love as the first two, but for me, I think all four together are such a cohesive arc for Ripley. I'd love all of them. It is, like I said, by far my absolute favorite franchise. So I am very critical of when they do Alien movies. Not so much for the Predator series, but definitely for the Alien movies. I am very much critical of it. So when Alien Romulus was announced, the first thing in my mind was, oh, here we go. They're about to tear up my favorite franchise, and I don't want to see them do that. But I'm happy to say I was slightly wrong. I was expecting it to be good, but it was a lot better than what even I thought. Now, this particular film feels like you're watching the first two, the original from 1979 and the follow-up from 1986. But it should feel that way because this one is, in fact, set between those two movies. What you have, Fede Alvarez directs the story of a young crew led by a brother and a sister, both orphans, and the brother is augmented, similar to the way the Bishop android is. Not completely android, but augmented for that same type of purpose. And they are sent up by the same infamous Weyland-Yutani Corporation to go to the now derelict Nostromo and to find as much salvage as they can possibly find and bring it back. Now, we all know what the Weyland-Yutani Corporation wants with the xenomorph, but they don't know about it, and then they run into what can actually be said is the exact same situation as the first film and the second film, almost mashed together. A lot of scenes in this film particularly feels like you're watching old scenes from the first movie and the second movie, just like when Newt and Ripley in the second film are trapped in the room with the face walkers. I mean, the face huggers. You get that sort of scene also in this one. A lot more face huggers in this one, but a lot of those scenes, like I said, from those first two movies are in fact in this one, and it feels great watching it. Fede Alvarez and his crew, they did their homework. They went back and watched the old films and said, okay, this is how this film feels. This is how this one feels. This is how it looks. We need to go with that feel and that, and you do get that. You get that tension. You get that anxiety from the film, and there are jump scares that I have not felt in this film. I feel that I have not felt in any other film in so many years, and I was so surprised at that. In fact, it's a simple concept to this one. It's just them trying to get salvage off the ship, and they run into the xenomorphs. But Fede Alvarez, to his credit, he does such a great job. Everything in this film feels larger than the first two films, but they found a pocket for themselves to sit in, and it feels very much tight-knit and claustrophobic, even though this film is larger in scope than those first two. I love the throwback feel, loving the throwback look. You can absolutely feel the connections between Rain and Ripley and those two characters. I mean, Rain even looks like Ripley with the white t-shirt and the flamethrower gun, just like Ripley from the weapons that they found as they were going along. Alien Romulus goes out of its way, like I said, to feel bigger, but it doesn't overdo it. So while you're watching this one, just know that you're going to see some things that are very much like the original two films, but they don't go out of their way to like push it in your face and say, hey, we're trying to give you this from the old films. This is not nostalgia bait by no stretch of the imagination. It feels and looks like nostalgia, but it is something of its own. But at the same time, it does absolutely fit between that 1979 original and the 1986 follow-up. It's not a perfect film. They do dawdle a little bit on a few of the story beats, and they hang on to get points across a little too long in a few places, but thankfully they aren't too overwhelming. Excuse me. The overall of the grand scheme of the film isn't slowed down, and it's just a good movie overall. To me, if you're going to watch this, watch it, enjoy it. It's a 9 out of 10. I love this movie so very much. It is a film that I would recommend everybody go to the theater and see. Don't sit at home and watch it. This is a really good film for you to go to the theater and watch it on the big screen. I just absolutely love this film. I was so very much surprised how good it was. I was expecting it to be okay, but this movie was absolutely fantastic. It's a little touch of nostalgia, but at the same time, it feels fresh. And then on the third finger, it really does give you a lot of jump scares. They really do come at you in a brand new way, but still holds on and honor the films that came before it. Like I said, if you do watch this film, if you haven't gone and see it, go to the theater and see it. Don't sit at home and watch it. Watching it at home on the TV will not do it any justice. Take a break. When we come back, time for the last call. So that's it, and that's all. It's time for the last call. I want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in this week. You didn't have to come watch me do this pokey little podcast, but you did, and I truly appreciate you. I don't care if it's 1, 5, 10, 100, or 1,000 of you. I truly appreciate everybody that tunes in and watch me do this, because I just love doing it. This is more than just a creative outlet for me. This is a ton of fun for me every single time I do it. There is no weekend watch list. None. It is August. It is the end of August. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. I want you to get out there and enjoy this weekend. Matter of fact, start enjoying every day you can before fall sets in. I'm not against fall. I like fall. My favorite holiday is Halloween, and that's in the fall. But enjoy the last few of these summer days that we can get, because it's going to start to get cold, and I know a lot of us don't want that. At least up here in the north, it's going to start getting cold either way. But yeah, just get out there and enjoy the weekend. Stay blessed, stay hydrated. I always say that, but I truly mean it. That's something you need to do. I am going to grab me another energy drink and try to just relax through this. It's not a hangover, but I am tired, man. That concert last night wore me out, but I had a ton of fun. I went to see Incubus with a friend, and it was an absolutely awesome time. Shout out to them, because even after 23 years of them celebrating their first album, what was the name of it? Morning View. Yeah, they were celebrating that. That's what they're touring with right now, that Morning View album. If you haven't listened to it, listen to that album. That album is fantastic. One of my absolute favorite albums of all time. But yeah, get out there and enjoy the weekend. Have fun. And please remember, you're not alone. If you feel like you need somebody to talk to, darkness closing in, Pick up the phone, dial or text 988. There's always somebody there. You are never alone. Just have some fun. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. And I will catch you on the next episode. So we will end this episode the same way we end all episodes. For my producer, Nikki Rev, we will say, God bless, I love you, and peace. See you next time.